All right, there are concerns then over the city of Johannesburg's visible dilapidation. This is according to residents who are concerned about service delivery issues. Far beyond that, those who are supposed to be delivering services are also struggling to even secure jobs within the city. Pikitup temporary employees took to the city manager yesterday, demanding accountability over recruitment processes. The recent Special Investigating Unit report about the city to Nqobile highlighted poor management, as well as inadequate skills and capacity, amongst others. Nqobile Madlala has more on this story than for us. Nqobile, it's one thing to look at the dilapidation and just wonder about what exactly is going on, but to also then have the workers themselves also wondering the same question kind of tells you how difficult the situation is and really is going to be difficult to resolve.
Well, definitely, Arabile, you can see already that these issues are piling up, much like the service delivery issues that people in the city are currently facing. I mean, not so long ago, there's been piles of rubbish, as you can see behind me, that has not been able to be cleaned, mainly because some of the people have been unhappy. But that's far beyond that. There's also water issues, there's also electricity issues, and there's a lot of hijacked buildings. So there's quite a lot that is taking place in the city. But I want to start with the issues of workers that are currently unhappy, mainly because they're trying to secure their job, to go back basically to the city and be part of the formal employments there. And I want to speak to someone who's representing the temporal workers of Pikitup. We know that you've been unhappy for quite some time now. So, and yesterday you went for a protest or a picket outside the municipal manager's office. Take me through why.
Let me say first good morning to the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. Yesterday we went to the city manager's office precisely because we felt that there was no transparency in terms of the investigation that has since been commissioned after a recruitment process at Pikitup was riddled with corruption, nepotism, families employing their own, the CFO being implicated, the labor relations manager, shop stewards at Pikitup, like for instance, the regional chairperson of some coming from Pikitup, herself being accused of having sold these vacancies for a value of 7,000. But when the investigation was conducted, the very people who were fingered, including some officials and the agency that was commissioned by Pikitup to do the recruitment, refused to participate in the investigation. Our understanding in the city is that as employees or any entity that is commissioned by the city, when there's an investigation, they are duty bound by law to participate, but they did not.
And how does this that is taking place behind closed doors affect the person that's on the streets in the city?
I'm sure you can see our surrounding. I'm sure you can feel the stench of smell where we are. Even our people who are trying to make a living on the pavements, they can't. Waste is not removed. There are places that today in town you can't walk without having, put your mask or a hand on your nose. You can feel the stench. This is the daily lived experience of how people are affected due to corruption that happened at Pikitup. I'm sure if the casual workers and the EPWP were now in place and permanently employed, we wouldn't be seeing what you are seeing. Just look behind us, and I'm sure coming here, all other corners, you've seen that there are piles and piles of deaths. There are small mountains of debris that has not been removed. So the workers are the residents of Johannesburg are affected precisely because the management of Pikitup involved themselves in a corrupt practice of wanting to do that recruitment. That's why we find this thing.
All right. And of course, we are going to reach out to the city to get more details, Arabile. But I want to bring in now the Inner City Federation to speak to us about the sort of problems that they see on the ground. We are hearing that, of course, there's waste that's not picked up on time. But what other issues are you faced with as people who live in the city?
The challenges that we are facing as the resident of the inner city, as you can see, the city is very dirty. It's like our municipality, they doesn't care about the communities. that are living in the inner city. That's the challenges that we are facing. The city is very dirty, and there's a lot of smell when we are working in the inner city. That's the problem that we are facing.
Solution, what would be the solution for you guys?
I think the solution, if the city can work together with the resident of the inner city, I think that should be better. Because the only problem, our municipalities, they don't work hand to hand with our communities. That's the challenges. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, that's what the city thinks. I mean, the inner city residents think, Nqobile, that's the one way to perhaps deal with these problems, is to have a collaboration where the city is able to speak to its own people and figure out solutions going forward so that they can deal with things like what you see waste behind me, as well as the dilapidation that is taking place in the city.
Yeah, that dilapidation just keeps on getting worse and worse, and they're quite correct. The stench can be just so difficult. Nqobile, thank you so much for that reporting then out in Johannesburg, the CBD there.